De CEO van Totalenergies en ook de CEO van onze eigen staatsolie, die hebben vandaag op een persconferentie goed nieuws gehad voor Suriname. Voorafgaand aan de persconferentie hebben dan de toppers uit de oliewereld, zoals men dat zegt, dan ook een ontmoeting gehad met de president, Chandrika Persat Santokhi, en zijn regeerteam, waar er dan is aangegeven dat er op blok 58 offshore olie 2 grote discoveries zijn gedaan. Het gaat hier om een project van $9 miljard. Er moet nog heel veel gebeuren vanaf de bouw van een platform samen, waarbij ook de local content dan daarvoor gebruikt zal worden. Aantal zaken hebben de CEO's naar voren gebracht. De heer Anand Jagisser, de CEO van Staatsolie, die sprak er zelf over een historische dag voor Suriname. Want als alles in kan en kruiken is, als alles zover is, zullen er 200.000 barrels per dag geproduceerd worden.
As we announced to His Excellency the President Santokhi, he came here today because after a long campaign of exploration, of appraisal, during which we drilled since 2019 15 wells, we have identified 2 large oil discoveries on the eastern part of the block 258, called Sakapala South and called Krakbadu, which contains globally next to 700 million barrels of oil, and which will allow us to make a very large development project, exploitation projects of 200,000 barrels per day. So today we are launching the development studies. The next step will be we intend to go to detailed engineering studies before year end, and to come back here before the end of 24 to sanction the project. The production of this field should come by 28. So it's, I think, a very important event. It's the first large oil development in offshore Suriname, but Anand will be better positioned than me on my side. This project will be, in fact, it's a project which budget is evaluated around $9 billion. So $9 billion, 700 million barrels of oil, it makes more or less $12, $13 per barrel of the cost. It will be developed offshore, fully offshore, 150 kilometers from shore. There will be a big floating production unit, a big boat, in fact, vessel, which will be built and implemented offshore. And then all the wells, 30 wells more or less, will be drilled and connected to this production unit. The oil will be exported from offshore. Totalenergies has a huge experience in this type of development. In Angola, Nigeria, Brazil, we have a number of what we call FPSOs that we operate. And so we intend, of course, to use all our competencies to do the best for the Suriname. I would add as well that, of course, sustainable development is important. So this project will put on board all the best available technologies in order to minimize all the greenhouse gas emissions. In particular, there will be zero flaring, no flaring on this vessel, and all the gas, associated gas which will be produced, will be re-injected as pressure maintenance in the reservoir. I would also add that, of course, today is a big day, I understand, because we announced that project, but we have a long way before we can produce. The next 15 months until end of 24 to work hard to finalize these engineering studies, to make the tenders, to find the contractors, to build the projects. That's the work of the next 15 months. And then we'll have 4 years, to build the project from end 24 to 28. Of course, for us, what will be very important is to develop the local content of the project. In the last 2 years, since we have operator during this exploration appraisal phase, we have managed to repatriate to Suriname the logistic base for all the operation. We created 80 jobs. We gave $90 million of activities to the economy. And of course, with the projects that we will develop, more will come. And there is a strong will, and of course I've been very encouraged, to be clear, by the President of the Republic to put a lot of emphasis on the local content, including putting in place the training sessions and in order to get more people from Suriname involved and getting benefits from this project. So I think it's, of course for us it's an important news because we have invested a lot in exploring, in appraising during the last 3 years. And today I'm very happy and to be able to announce that we are embarking very seriously and to develop this very large project for the benefit of Suriname and of course Totalenergies and our partner Apache.
As mentioned, summarized, we're talking about 200,000 barrels a day. The first development in Guyana, for instance, was 120. We're not competing, but just to give you a flavor of the size, 700 million barrels of reserves and a project of 9 billion barrels, 9 billion US dollars. So we're very happy to have Patrick and his team here in Suriname. Our experience with Totalenergies is that they're very committed. When we visited their offices in September 22, we asked them if Totalenergies has any interest in delaying the project. And he said, how would we be delaying the project if we spent to date 1.3 billion US dollars in the project? So they have no interest, and he committed to 3 appraisal wells that we have drilled. We have flow tested them, and we are sitting here today because they came about all their commitments, and we have discovered now the 700 million barrels of oil. We have the 700 million barrels of oil to have a feasible project. Another commitment was that he would be here if we would have a project, so he is here, which is a testimony to the fact that we have a project that will really happen. So for Suriname, we have turned to a historic page today. I think the liver here, the higher power has blessed Suriname with a lot of minerals. The past 100 years, we had bauxite, we have gold, we had oil, and now this is the biggest material price to date. And of course, we will have to be careful to handle this wealth and not to spend the money before we earn it, and not to overspend, to guarantee long-term continuity, because there are infamous examples in the world of countries that have a lot of oil and still a poor economy. And we don't have to go too far to the west to find one of the economies, which is Venezuela. As stated in the production sharing contract, Suriname will earn the most of the net income from this project. And according to calculations of Staatsolie, that will be like 7 to 9 times the GDP of Suriname. So 7 tot 9 maal het bruto nationaal product van Suriname over de productieperiode. En dat is enorm veel. Alles wat we verdienen, toegevoegde waarde van Suriname, 9 maal dat zullen we in de periode terugverdienen. So this is hugely important for our country. Of course, then the important question, and we can make it even a little bit more pointy, will we see the day that this will happen? Because I know it's very difficult in Suriname. And every time we have to say, we have to wait. This is then the important moment that we say that we have enough research and we have a feasible project. But of course, like Patrick has explained, a project of $9 billion is not like you going to a shop and buy a ship. It is engineered, it is designed, it's built, it takes time. So why is it important that this is happening right now? We expect that from this announcement, there will be increased economic activities in Suriname. People will come here to conduct business, to have pre-meetings on activities that they would like to establish in Suriname. And one important thing is we have the IMF program. They have a macroeconomic framework in which they don't include the oil revenues of the future. If they include that, it will lighten the framework, so the Surinamese government will be able to do more for the Surinamese people, which is very important. It is for Staatsolie, the board of Staatsolie, the people that worked at Staatsolie. It's very important. This company was set up to show the world that we as a Surinamese company, we can conduct highly complicated business, but to the benefit of the Surinamese people, which is very important. The past 5 wells, total drilled from Suriname. It was from a port in Suriname. And with that drilling of those 5 wells, they spent $90 million in Suriname. So in this development project, they will drill approximately 30 wells. If you calculate that, then it adds up to $500 million that could be spent in Suriname. And of course, Patrick has assured us as well that they will also commit further to local content development, so it will even be better. A lot of people are asking me when to build their hotel. I think this is the time. When to build the restaurants. We've seen this in Guyana happening, that people flock into the country to conduct business. I can tell you Staatsolie is extremely motivated to continue. Our young geologists, geoscientists are working day and night to develop the offshore to bring even more prosperity to Suriname in the future. We kunnen inderdaad uit deze ontwikkeling tussen de 16 en 26 miljard, 16 en 26 miljard US$ verdienen. Dat wil zeggen dat met goed beleid er geen armoede meer kan bestaan in Suriname. Absoluut geen armoede meer kan bestaan. Maar net als landen als Nigeria en Venezuela gaan we over 30 jaar moeten kijken. Want als niemand meer vist en niemand meer plant en niemand meer wil werken, gaan we straatarm worden na 30 jaar. Dit moet goed gemanaged worden. Dit is een hele grote stap. Er zijn technische termen, het heet pre-feed, maar het betekent voorontwerp. En wat Total vanaf vandaag gaat doen, is geld stoppen in het voorontwerp. En hoe meer geld je erin stopt, hoe minder kans er is dat je eruit gaat stappen. Maar wat meneer Poirier met name zegt, Patrick, met name zegt, is die kost per barrel is heel erg belangrijk. Omdat we zo'n groot olieveld hebben, dat relatief dicht bij elkaar ligt, zijn we in staat om bij deze ontwikkeling ongeveer $20 per barrel te halen. En in de wereld wordt olie geproduceerd, hij heeft dat uitgelegd. Er wordt per dag meer dan 100 miljoen barrels geproduceerd. Veel van die olie kost nog $50 en $60 om te produceren. U begrijpt dan dat zo'n ontwikkeling heel erg interessant is. En Total zal dat ook niet laten liggen. Daarmee is de zekerheid dat deze ontwikkeling komt voor ons bevestigd als Staatsolie. Wat gebeurt er tussen nu en 2028 als de eerste barrel eruit komt? Is dat er meer economische activiteiten gaan plaatsvinden in Suriname. En hopelijk dat IMF bijvoorbeeld dit ook meeneemt in haar economisch raamwerk. Want als die olieinkomsten worden ingenomen, dan wordt het raamwerk wat gespreider, waardoor de maatregelen niet zo strak hoeven te zijn voor Suriname. Maar dat moet de regering natuurlijk bespreken met het IMF. Groot moment voor Suriname. Ik feliciteer iedereen. Ik dank de mensen van Staatsolie, directieteam en alle medewerkers van Staatsolie die hard hebben gewerkt hieraan. En ik weet dat er soms koskosie komt, dat het te lang duurt. Maar we werken echt heel hard eraan. Het is geen Guyana, maar het is echt heel erg goed in de wereld. Onze oliefondsen zijn heel erg goed. Maar bijvoorbeeld Guyana Lisa is nu 2,1 miljard barrel in 1 reservoir. We hebben in 2 reservoirs nu 700 miljoen. Ook ongehoord in de wereld. Dus we zijn goed. God heeft ons echt gezegend. En laten we er goed mee omgaan.